mash up the place, turn up the bass and make them all have fun. How we ablaze the fire, make it fun. Them we mash up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound. Boy run, and we will end your week just like a Sunday. We mash up the place.
All right. So this is the SRT style front bumper. It's been kind of one of my bigger mod slash goals for this car, and everything turned out pretty smooth, kind of clipping everything together. There are a bunch of clips, and I'll show you guys later, in that bottom piece that are kind of like the Christmas tree, the push pins that go in, that I need to snag before I actually put this on the car. And then the only other thing that I will be changing out is probably this front grille, because everywhere I've looked has this little, it's molded in to the actual grille itself, which to me, I like everything to be debadged. I like the clean look that it gives. I don't like badges. I'm not one of those people that sits there and frickin' puts a badge for everything I have. Like, I don't need a 3.6 liter, VVT badge on the side of my car. Everybody knows it. Well, once I put this on, they won't, but you guys know what I mean. So that is the only thing that I am kind of disappointed with Dodge about, is they don't actually sell OEM grill without that molding in the grill. At least not that I found. If they do, I mean, somebody can go down and comment. That'd be great, because right now the one that I did buy is actually back ordered, so the people refunded me for it, which is no big deal. I mean, I get it. Not that I'm in a rush. It's just gonna look kind of funky for a little bit. And I don't want to put, I know D. Ford put SXT on his, and I could technically get away with that because, I mean, they're both V6s, but it would still kind of be up badging for me, considering that mine is just the base SE. I know I've been putting a lot of work into it, and it, whatever, but I don't, this goes back to the thing again, I don't like up badging. Along with that, I do have the side skirts for the SRTs that I'm going to be swapping out with mine. And for those that don't know, there is actually a difference between the SRT model and the normal, I guess you could, all the other models, that there's just a little bit of contour to the bumper, or to the side skirt itself, that kind of gives it that extra pizzazz. And then, as you already saw, we have the full SRT rear bumper with the sensors. That one's probably going to be the pain in the butt, but we'll figure it out. I've got time. I did also purchase it's like a little engine bay cover deal for the firewall, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. That's going to be nice. Kind of excited about that. And then, if you can see it down there amongst the mess, that is the, what would you call it, it's like a belly pan that goes underneath the engine bay to kind of, it's a splash guard, so to speak. For some reason, I noticed a little while back that mine didn't have it on, so that explained why my engine bay was always so dirty. Once I found that out, I started doing some digging, and it was only like 30 some bucks, so it wasn't too bad. And then we got some bracketry that goes with the new bumpers. I wanted to kind of get it. I didn't want to just buy the bumpers off of, eBay or whoever and just kind of throw it on there without it being completely right. So I went through one of the guys in my car club who actually works at the dealership, and he bought me all the parts that I needed, I've got some little foam stuff that goes into the rear bumper here that he thought I might need. So I mean, I've got everything that you would buy for an SRT. So hopefully this goes smooth. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about right now is I know there's what is that little cover deal that goes on top. Can't remember if that actually comes off with the bumper or not. I think it does. So that'll be interesting to see if that actually fits or if I need to get another one of those. In which case, that'll be kind of annoying. Other than that, I've got a few things that are still coming. Some exciting things. I have my wrap appointment. I'm actually getting the car wrapped on, let's see what is today. Today is Wednesday. This video probably won't be posted for a little while anyways. Got editing, and I don't want to put bits and pieces out there. I'll probably stuff this all into one video. But we've got that happening on the 24th, October 24th, 2018. We're going to get it wrapped in this really pretty rose black rose color. It's going to be pretty sweet. After I actually thought about it, and this wasn't intentional, so 86 Face is probably going to freak out, but I think it actually looks similar to the red he has on his Challenger, and I wasn't actually going for that. Just as a PSA, I was not going for his look. I'm not trying to copy him or anything. I was actually trying to go for the black eye color that they have on the 1320 2019 Scat Pack Challengers. I thought that was a really pretty color, and the color that I'm going to be getting it wrapped was the closest thing I could find, but it's still a little bit more red than it is purple, so it might come out looking similar to 86 Faces Challenger. So bro, I apologize. Don't freak out. Stay savage. That's his thing. But so today I'm probably actually going to be, I'll try and take some videos if I can. My hands are probably going to be kind of full. I need to get like a little personal assistant deal that I can stick on the phone. But I'm going to be trying to put the front bumper on at least, because like I said, that wrap appointment is set for Tuesday, and I want to get everything done because this weekend's going to be busy. We got some trunk or treats on both Saturday and Sunday at 2 different locations, 2 different times. So that's going to be keeping me busy the weekend. But I have this entire week, or what's remaining, these last 3 days, are going to be fully dedicated to getting this stuff on, bolted up, make sure everything's tight, everything's right, and we'll go from there. That is another piece that actually kind of has me worried. I'm not sure exactly what I am supposed to be using to clip those on. I do know, however, where it goes. This is the rear bumper, so get out of here. So it'll line up. I don't know how well you can see, but there's those 4 little grooves where those pins go, and those just kind of line up with them. So I'm gonna have to figure out those guys, and we'll get it taken care of. Okay, so we are out here. I have both front wheels off. Got the car up on jack stands. It's always a good idea when you're jacking your car up to put jack stands, just for safety purposes. Because I've had a couple friends actually go through the trauma of actually having a freaking jack blow out because the hydraulic oil like started leaking and whatever, and the car actually fell on top of him. So always make sure to use those. They are a lifesaver, kind of literally. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the front bumper off and replacing it with that SRT front bumper. Some of the things you got to do: you don't have to take the wheel off, but it helps. But no, seriously, it does help, because you got to get into the wheel well and take out a bunch of these lovely little tabs, which, if you have a Harbor Freight or a local tool shop, these little pin popping tools are freaking amazing. So what you'll want to do, and there's a handful of them, you don't have to take all of them off, but the more you take off, the easier it's actually going to be. There's a few on the inner side of the wheel well, and then there's like there's 3, it looks like, along the outer side, 1, 2, and then 3. And then I'm just taking these off to make it a little easier to pull that panel back. Oh, there we go. Well, that guy didn't cut off, but that's okay. I like to try and keep my stuff somewhat organized so that you remember where everything goes. If you do it multiple times, you kind of muscle memory. But so now I'm able to pull back on that guy right here and get to the bolt I need to in order to take this bumper off. On the 15s and up, there are actually 3 bolts on each side holding this thing together. And for convenience purposes, because I knew I was going to be taking the front bumper off again, I actually left one of the bolts out, because it is a pain in the butt to get to. I can't really see my screen that well, but I'll try and point this out. So we got one that goes up right there, or sorry, it goes down. I don't know if you can see, but it is like right in there, and it holds down. Well, then there's one that's actually further up that goes down as well. Come on, focus. Is it focused? I can't tell. Sun's glaring in my eyes. But yeah, there's one further up here that's a little bit more of a pain to get to, and that is the one that I actually just left out, because right up here there is another bolt that holds it in right here, and they're all Torx bits. It's a little star pattern, whatever you want to call it. Right there, that little guy. So that's pretty easy. And then what you'll want to do is there's a bunch of those little pull pins, or those tabs up on top here. You'll want to take those out. And then there are, let's just crawl down here. These little guys, they are 8mm. Little tiny bolt screws, and I would have 6 of them, but I actually used one of the holes and sacrificed it for this little lovely stow and show, which I'm gonna have a hard time screwing into that new bumper, but we'll see what happens. And then I actually got that belly pan that I showed you guys earlier that I got for like 30 bucks. This is where it's gonna be going. I'm gonna have to figure out, it looks like there is a little pin here. I wonder if that's where it goes, but I'll figure it out. That's gonna be almost a joy to get to. But then after you take all those off, you take those, 2, well, you'll have 3, those 3 bolts out. then the bumper should actually come loose and you should be able to pull it away. Now, on the 15s, you'll have to watch out because these side markers are actually clipped in. So before you actually pull the bumper completely off, you'll want to make sure that those are disconnected. Otherwise, you're going to be getting some new wiring harnesses, which is always a lovely trip. And so here you can see on this side, if the sun stopped glaring, you can see these pins are still in. And we'll just go through and undo those. And the 3 bolts and the bumper will be off. Alright, so got the bumper off. The reason I have it facing face down is because I don't really give a shit about the paint, so that's not anything to worry about. Otherwise, if you were to take that off and you were worried about the paint, you're trying to keep everything good, do not set it on the front like that. You're going to want to set it on like a sawhorse or something like that, or a moving blanket or whatever you have, just to kind of not scratch it up. But like I said, I don't really care because it's going back to Dodge for the core charge, so I don't really care. But update, so I was mistaken, there are more parts that you actually do have to take out. So where you see behind, if you have like an RT or any of the lower V6 models, you have this little air, well, it's probably got them on all the models, I don't know, I don't have an SRT, I'm not that fancy, but you have little 3 7mm bolts which go up there. They're like bolt screws, everything. I mean, it's not technically a bolt. I consider this a bolt. This is not a bolt, this is like a screw, but it's got a bolt head. So but those do attach to the front fascia and will need to be removed. Another thing I guess I kind of failed to mention is you don't necessarily have to use a Torx head on this if you don't have it. It is a 10mm hex, like bolt head, so you can always use a 10mm if that fits up in there better. But so that is off, which is lovely. So you can see how dirty she is. A nice little Hellcat inlet that I also installed, which has kept the temps down, the intake temps down significantly. Yeah, so we're, I guess I wouldn't consider it halfway there because the new bumper still got to get wrapped, but we're making progress. Alright, so for those doing the front bumper conversion, if anybody ever does the front bumper conversion, I know there's not very many that do it, but these little brackets right here on the side that the bolts actually go into, I don't know if you can see that well. That freaking glare is bad. But anyways, they are actually riveted onto the front bumper. So you will either have to buy new brackets, or if you're like me and you're kind of not really up to just buying new parts, I like to use what I got if I got it. You can drill out the rivets, and then what I plan on doing eventually, I'll probably just put it on there to put it on there, because after I put the bolt through, it should hold it pretty tight. But to make it right, what I'll eventually do is drill that completely out and then just re-rivet it. Unfortunately, I didn't foresee this, and I don't have a rivet gun, so that's going to be the next thing on the shopping list next time I go to the hardware store. So alright, so we are on day 2 of the Srt Appearance Conversion, is basically what I'm going to call it. The front, as you'll see in the video, it's probably going to take a few days, but I'm going to put it all into one video just to kind of I don't know, build up the suspense, whatever. Not build up the suspense. But yeah, it's all probably going to be in one video, but this process will take in like real time a few days. So what you guys are going to probably see in like 25-30 minutes is taking hours out of each day, depending on how much time you actually have to dedicate to it. Front bumper yesterday wasn't too bad. I had already taken it off before, so I mean it was kind of familiar to me. If you're not familiar with taking the front bumper off, it can be a little difficult if you don't know what to do. So that's there. And then I also did the side skirts, swapped them over because on the SRT models they actually have that little contour to it versus the non, which is just like a flat panel, which I think looks boring. So now this is our project today. It's gonna be the rear bumper. Shouldn't be too bad, but we shall see. Okay, so don't mind that hellhole. Just recently got back from camping and decided to use my spare tire bin as a partial cooler slash water transfer case. But taking the taillights out isn't actually too bad. There are a few little push pins here that you have to remove. The ones that look like this guy, the little Christmas trees. There are two of those, one right up here on the top side, and then one lower down here. Where are you at? Right there. It's on that edge. And then there are the two little hook deals. One's all the way down here. It's both sides, it mirrors itself. And then one's against here that you just have to pull out. And then you can pull this guy back, and there are two 8mm bolts here that you just have to remove. And then what I kind of like to do, just so I can keep track of everything, is I'll actually thread it back on, just so I don't lose anything. Just a neat little practice to take hold of. And then as we do that, we can start to see what it's going to take to actually take the bumper off. Now, kind of like the front one, you will have to remove some of the push pins from the wheel well. I've seen people do it without taking the rear tires off, but just for the convenience of having the space, I will actually be taking the rear tires off because I don't like to have to fight with shit. So we're moving along.